Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Sorry for the bit of the clunky start here. I'm great to see everyone tonight. Keith Henry, president of the BC Métis Federation. I'm joining you live from very far ways away here. I'm up in Iqaluit, the Nunavut territory, and the internet is a little choppy, so I'm really hoping it comes off tonight with no major glitches. So I want to say, of course, greetings to everyone. It's been a very busy week for me on a professional level, and of course, we're just coming off quite a successful 11th annual general meeting. But before we get into the meeting this week, let's talk with our colleagues tonight, Renee Therian and JJ Lavallee, my co-pilots again for this October edition of Métis Coffee Talk. JJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks. How are you?
Good. Well, that's a pretty lame introduction there, JJ. Come on, you got to give us something.
I don't have much to say. It's good. Life is good. I'm happy. I've got my fiddle in my hand. I got my Métis.
Wow. And I even noticed the sash is back on the door and didn't want to share his run.
Back, yeah. We're representing. It's pretty good. It's a good day.
Awesome. Where are you joining from tonight?
Surrey, BC.
Awesome. Okay. And now we're going to go up to Terrace, BC. Mr. Renee Therian, the Vice President of the BC Métis Federation. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? How do you like where you're at?
It's a little cooler up here. It's just about -10 right now, so it's a little bit of snow on the ground, not a lot, but a little bit of snow, and it's probably not as cold as I thought it was going to be, but it's definitely when you come from Vancouver, it was +20 when I left. It's quite a shocking difference. But yeah. So how's Terrace today?
Terrace is not bad. It rained this morning. It was nice today. I was at the farm working with the cows and feeding them, and I thought I get home and see if I could join you guys. So I have my fiddle and I'm pretty well ready.
Well, yeah, we're Métis. You must have a fiddle on you at all times. You never know when a jig's going to break out, right? So there you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Renee, why don't you start us off with a nice tune to start the show, and then we'll ask JJ to jump in with his tune. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to start with a tune called Keystone Reel.
Very, very good job,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Therian. Keystone Reel. That's great. All right. What in that song? What inspired you to pick that song?
Well, it was sent to me, and they asked me if I would be interested in learning it, and that's quite a few years ago, and I'm still practicing it, so I hope it turned out all right.
It sounded perfect. All right. Well, we'll come back to you with some more culture and some commentary, of course, throughout the show. JJ, what's going to be your first song as you're taking your sip of tea?
We're going to play an old tune called The Crooked Stovepipe. I programmed my band here with some new old tunes. Oops, hang on a second. All right, here we go.
Great job. Great job.
Nice.
That song I saw Renee, his toes were tapping, he was clapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so that song, how many times you played that before, JJ? You seem to have mastered it.
Well, no, it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm starting to like just remember tunes I haven't played. I neglected the fiddle, sad to say, for quite a while. You know, with the new album, I'm doing more singing than fiddling. So I used to play it a lot. So now I'm trying to go back into memory banks and remember all these tunes that I used to play. So I programmed 3 of them in here tonight. So yeah.
Good. Good.
Oh,
Got to bring
we're
them
getting
back.
the world. Yeah, we're getting JJ back at the fiddle, in the Métis fiddle spirit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, you know what? What a great week it was, right? I mean, we had our 11th annual general meeting in Surrey this past weekend. You know, I'll get into some news and updates about the organization and what's happening. But you know, I want to get your take. You know, Renee, you know, you're the vice president. You've been around the Métis movement for many years in British Columbia. What was your thoughts about our 11th annual general meeting?
Well, you know, I had attended many AGM through my through the last 20 years. It was amazing AGM, I thought. The turnout was great. We had representatives from our communities. Everybody stayed in tune right till the end. And the food was great. The report from the program director was good. In general, it was what I heard. It was an A1 AGM.
So was that, you said, yeah, it was sort of like people from, I guess, folks from that you had from Terrace that were there, or was it just people online? Like, where was the feedback you kind of heard it from?
Oh, in Terrace here, they asked me how the AGM was. They seen some of it on their website, and what they were saying, it says, I haven't heard that too often. It was an A1 AGM. So I thought, and you know, I had to agree with them because I was there and I didn't see any flaw. It seemed like everybody was in twos to what was going on and they stayed there. And a lot of time people don't stay there. They go and walk around. But here, the majority of the people stayed there right till the end. So I thought that was great.
Yeah, I did too. You know, I'm just going to bring up some pictures as we're talking about this, but you know, you guys, I want to thank you both, JJ and Renee. You guys brought a lot of culture to the annual general meeting. We had posted some pictures I know that you've seen on our Facebook, and you know, it was just I like you know, there's in the background that we broadcasted on Facebook Live. We had some feedback that people were having a difficult time hearing some of the questions because they weren't using a microphone and stuff like that, but you know, boy, we sure got a lot of positive feedback. You know, you know, that was the morning before it got all set up, but there's our friend Joe and whatnot. But anyways, yeah, it was, you know, people were dancing. I thought it was a lot of fun. And what I really liked is I ended up seeing some of our old friends like Maxine and Phil Lavallee come back out, and we see Bev Lambert and others. And I just thought it was a great weekend for everyone. Right. So, JJ, what was your thoughts about the AGM?
It was really informative. I liked it. It was nice to see some old faces, and it's always a pleasure to play for people like Bev and Maxine and Phil. I was saying, I remember when I first joined the Federation, it was the Silver Tip Swingers who I used to play for all the time. So it was nice to have them all come up and dance. That was the highlight for me. And playing with Rennie is always such a pleasure. So it was really fun. And the food was top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I liked it.
I had, yeah, same here. I just want to share. Yeah, you had the Silver Tip Swingers dancing there. They were Maxine and Phil, and we had the, you know, Norman, Sharon, Eifert, and then of course Beverly jumped in there. But yeah, it was great. Like some of these, the video here went it reached quite, it's been looked at just about, it doesn't show the metrics here, but just about 2,000 views on it. So, you know, people were, you know, it's nice to see that people want to see culture. And I just thought it was great. And to the point of not beyond the sort of the mechanics of a good meeting, you know, we had a good agenda, good content, good reports, but I felt like it was just really good dialogue all around. Like everyone asked questions. It was just a really positive vibe all day. So I just say congratulations to the members. And so many of our partner community leaders. We had people from Prince George, the island, to the Kootenays, to Northeast BC, to Northwest BC. Like there was quite a diverse audience there, and I thought that was great. What was your what final commentary on this? What was your one takeaway, guys, from the AGM? I'll start with okay, JJ, we'll go to you first. What was what was the highlight for you of the day?
Well, I was quite overwhelmed with the
Sorry, for some reason that started up. Sorry about that, JJ.
I was quite overwhelmed just by all the well wishes from everybody there that day. I mean, I guess our viewers may know now that that I am I'm moving on from the province and moving out to Saskatoon. So we had a farewell there, and it was just so warm. I felt so welcomed and loved, and it was yeah, it was an emotional day, but it was fun. I had, like I said, playing with Rennie. I remember when I first moved here, and it was him and I playing. I play guitar, he play fiddle, and that's how we started, and that's how I ended it. So it was really, that was the highlight for me, I'd say.
Yeah, well, you started with the Silvertip Swingers, and you had a farewell tour with the Silvertip Swingers live.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really
that's
great.
awesome. Yeah. Well, we're all proud of you. I know JJ is really touched by your speech, and I thought it was great. And people, but I want to let everyone know online that you may be leaving to Saskatchewan to move, but we're still going to keep you helping with Métis Coffee Talk and cultural events. So
Right.
we're going to keep you connected where we can as a performer as much as we can, as you know. How about you, Renee? What was your one highlight of the AGM?
Well, to play with JJ, he's awesome to play with, and I hope he comes back to visit soon. The highlight for me was to see old people, old faces again. COVID stopped that for the last 3 years, and to meet some of them people that used to supported us. Now on Zoom, it's not the same anymore, and I have to thank the people that organized it. I thought it was well organized. Definitely, I have to thank them people.
Well, that's primarily our office manager, Sherry Daniels, who probably isn't watching tonight, but hopefully someone lets her know that we mentioned her, because she did a great job. I mean, I know she had help with the staff that helped set it up and that as well, but she really helped organize. That's her strength, and I really appreciate the work that she did on that. Okay, so I'm gonna just well, why don't we give us another fiddle tune? JJ, you got something? You said you did 3 new tunes, or you're bringing back 3 tunes. So you brought back the first one. You ready to bring us back the second one?
Yes. This tune is called the Liberty Two-Step.
Very well done.
Excellent job there, JJ. Excellent. And what was the name of that song again?
Liberty two-step.
Liberty Two Step. All right. Well, Renee, do you think you have a song there ready to go? You think you can give us a song to add to JJ's performance here?
Okay. How about Sunshine Two Step?
Ooh.
Excellent job, Renee. Excellent job.
Thank you.
All these two-stepping songs here that feel like we shouldn't be sitting. Anyways. Well, great job, you guys. Just I want to, I always love just when you guys share those kind of fiddle tunes and a little bit of the, obviously remind, because a lot of our listeners may or may not always be as familiar with some of the old Métis fiddle tunes or tunes that might be familiar to some of the events. We all know the Red River Jig. We all know Whiskey Before Breakfast. We all know Orange Blossom Special and a few other sort of what I would call the iconic songs. But it's great to hear some of the other Métis fiddle tunes as well. Okay, now I want to share a few things. We're going to go on to I just want to touch on a few things. Last week I was so proud, this organization, I know I shared this at the AGM, but I do want to share it again with the listeners online tonight. My nephew, Matt Henry, he's Métis. Our family's, always identified as Métis. He plays for the Brandon Wheat Kings of the WHL. And he made it this year as a rookie, and I was very excited to spend an evening with him. They were in town playing the Vancouver Giants, and here I am giving him a Every Child Matters sash in front of my son, obviously, and family. And I also gifted the coach one, and I said in a traditional way, I gave him that sash to represent the fact that he's responsible for our family and we're trusting him with our family. So, he matters, Matt matters to us, and we hope it matters to him. So, give a little extra education on Métis culture. And I just thought it was something really powerful, and, I got to say, we don't talk enough in hockey about Indigenous hockey players. And in this case, I was proud to see my nephew, Matt, playing there. And just a great kid, great young man. He's got a great future, and just to be able to share culture. I brought him with my son, Kieran. He's in the picture there with his hat. Well, I would say hat on backwards, but about 10 of them have their hats on backwards. So, but he's right beside me here on the, right beside Matt, and my son's right with me. And all his friends were there from the Delta Hockey Academy, and they just thought Matt was an amazing young man, and they got educated on Métis culture and getting it into that mainstream. And sometimes you see these things and you do these things because it's important to family. But I have to tell you, that story took off, and I just want to let everyone online know, the Brandon, locally Brandon newspaper picked the story up. And now they've run a story about my brother and our Métis family and the inspiration and the connection with Métis community, about the SASH presentation. And it was great. They've highlighted us with the BC Métis Federation and the work we do, and talked about, my twin brother, Kevin, and his work, and a little bit of our hockey background and athletic background. But I just love seeing this in mainstream media. It talks a lot about Matt. And I know a lot of people don't know his story or our family story or my brother's story for that matter. But, my brother's had to sacrifice lots for his boys. And, I'm proud of them all. And I think we should tell each other that more often. I think, we see a lot of lateral stuff in the Métis community. And at times we've got to remember, let's lift our kids up. My point to this is just that, what started out as just a cultural important piece for our family has turned into something that's got quite a bit of significance in Brandon now. And, it was great to see our Métis sash featured, Tous les enfants comptent, which is Every Child Matters and Mate de Michif French. And I was just proud, and I'm proud to share that with everyone tonight. And I think we as leaders and organizations need to remember that it's these other things that also matter. It's not just about dollars and cents. It's about, making our kids feel important. And I said it at the AGM, and we had done this, and little did I know it was going to turn into quite a big media story over in Brandon this week. So I'm just glad the local media there cared. And I know Matt probably is made to feel like he's welcome just a little bit more, because there's only one other Indigenous player on his team. There's not many Indigenous players in the WHL. So whether they're First Nation, Métis, or Inuit. And I just want Matt to know he's cared for and that we're all rooting for him. So anyways, I wanted to digress a little bit about that. I know, JJ, you're from Manitoba. Come on, is there a big hockey community there? Oh, you're on mute.
Absolutely. I mean, I never got to play hockey, but I mean, from a young age, we were out on the pond or we were out in the driveway and we were playing hockey, and there was always a huge presence. I mean, grew up in St. Laurent, they had the local hockey team there. And then in Portage Prairie, where I used to go, not far from Brandon, they had the Portage Terriers. So yeah, and not far from there, you probably know this, there's a hunting lodge, Hextall's Lodge. And I was just about 5 miles from where Ron Hextall, that used to play with the Philadelphia Flyers, used to hang out. So yeah, big hockey out there.
Yeah. I think many of us that are older than 40 or so know Ron Hextall very well. He was quite a goaltender for sure, quite a guy. But yeah, no, it's a great. Renee, I think our BC Métis Federation sash, and I say that I wanted to show it tonight to JJ because JJ was the architect of that sash. He helped design it and pick it out. And JJ, I just want to thank you. Those sashes are really, really recognized as a tremendous honor. So thanks for the work on that sash again.
Thanks.
Opa. How about Renee? What do you think about the hockey and Métis community? Any thoughts?
Well, I didn't have a chance to play hockey. It was too far away. I was raised 35 miles from Winnipeg, but I enjoy hockey. I haven't been listening to the last time. I think there were 6 teams in the NHL, so that's a couple of years ago.
Well, Renee, yeah, there's been a few changes in the league since then.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Well, anyways, why don't I jump into it? I just wanted to share that story with you guys. But we did release this week as well our newsletter for October. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Obviously, we're here tonight doing Métis Coffee Talk. We usually do it on a Thursday, but tomorrow was pretty difficult because I'm flying in the air and can't do Coffee Talk from an airplane. So hopefully everyone's okay with that. But we featured our staff member. We featured Cassandra, our director of communications. Hopefully everyone gets to know a little bit more about Cassandra, and she's doing great work with all of us. Obviously, we've talked about the 11th annual general meeting, but it was a very successful annual general meeting. The highlight for me was the fact that the board is all returned and we all got nominated, elected people. The members love what we're doing and they want us to keep doing what we're doing. And that we got another clear mandate for the next 2 years. And I thought that was great. And, the cultural work you guys did was tremendously powerful, but, also from a governance perspective, to see the stability of the organization and the commitment of this group of individual, it's an honor for me to stand with everyone that's in that picture, whether it's yourself, Renee, or Roseanne, or of course, Cindy or Jackie or Louise or Earl. These are reputable people. And I just can't say how much I appreciate that. I do also, we've been continuing. What I also found members really enjoyed was the research work that's being done by our Pacific Northwest group. And we were featuring Diane here on the community-based research, and she's working with our director of research, Joe Desjardins. and of course, carrying on with the Métis terrestrial investigation project. So I think the members really enjoyed hearing that and really enjoyed the update in that regard as well on the weekend. And, coastal engagement, I just want to thank Angel and her coastal water protectors. They're continuing to do tremendous work with coastal cleanup and, of course, marine safety. And they're continuing that work. And I just say thank you so much to them. So, the newsletter's out. It's got some great information. And I just encourage people to get on the website, take a look at it. It's downloadable. We did email it out to everyone, and hopefully people have a good look at it. So lots going on with the Federation, that's for sure. So on that note, why don't we go back to some fiddle tunes? Are you guys ready to give me each another tune? Is that okay?
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we this time we'll start with JJ. JJ, why don't you go first?
All right. Oh, am I there? Where did I go? Here I am. All right, here's a tune I used to play many years ago, and I played it a few times to warm up. I'm a little rusty, but here, try it anyway. Here's something called Bowing the Strings.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Excellent.
Well, that was excellent. That's some pretty fancy fiddle in there, Mr. Lavalle.
Oh,
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
it's fun. It's fun to been. I've been picking up the fiddle for days in a row here, so it's nice to get back into it again.
Awesome. Okay, Renee, what song are you going to fiddle for us?
I'm going to play an old song called Spinning Wheel.
Oh,
Great job, Renee. Great job.
Thank you.
that's a great tune. I've never heard that one.
No?
That's a great
Spinning
tune.
Wheel.
I like it.
Well, he said it's an old one, JJ. You're too young.
Too young, boy. Too young.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to. One of the things we showed at the 11th annual general meeting this past weekend was one of our commercials, a new public service announcement that the Federation was releasing, coming as a result of our, I guess, our work with the pardon me, our work with the employment and training. So I would like to show you guys online tonight the commercial just to make sure everyone has seen it. So I'm just going to run that if that's okay with everyone right now. So we'll just play it here. It's just a quick 30-second commercial that you can watch for that'll be out very shortly.
The BC Métis Federation provides many benefits to its members, including employment and training opportunities across BC. By visiting bcmétis.org, members can take advantage of many career services, including resume and cover letter support, job matching, training, plus hundreds of jobs with our industry partners. BC Métis Federation expects significant growth in the number of opportunities for its members, including procurement opportunities for Métis businesses and contractors. Discover the benefits at bcmétis.org. The BC Métis Federation provides many benefits to its members.
Not what I wanted to do again, but there you go. Well, hopefully it worked. I don't know if it's a bit delayed because I was running it there. Hopefully it worked, Renee.
No, it did work. Yeah, no, it was okay.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay. Well, I know it's a bit choppy for some people, but yeah, it runs smooth. It's just that I've got a weak internet connection here, so I'm doing my best to try and get you the information tonight as I can. But we're very proud of that public service announcement. Thanks to our communications team. Obviously that with the support of our industry group with Greg, Taylor, Karen, Brad, and so forth. I think it's a really good, just a public service announcement. We've got a tremendous job board on our website and so forth. So, that we just continue to raise the work that we're doing and continue to align wherever we can opportunities. So now let's go back. I love the Métis fiddle music tonight. I really feel like we need to do another song. I love the music you guys are playing. I see JJ's camera's off, but I'm going to come back to you, Renee. What do you think? I know you gave us an oldie before. Spin the Wheel, I think it was what it was called.
Yeah, spinning wheel. I'll play Le Rille de Saint Laurent.
All right, let's hear it. Well, great job, Renee. Absolutely wonderful job, as always. Renee, one of the things that you obviously have spent a lot of time working on is the Michif language. We saw quite a keen interest at the conference or at our annual general meeting about the development of the Michif language curriculum. I know some people have already tried to reach out now because of the information they got at the annual general meeting about the tools that are available to implement in the school districts across BC. Where do we go from here? I know you guys are doing some work, but what would you like the audience tonight to know where you're going with some of the Michif language work? What's sort of some of the ideas and vision for the future?
Well, while we were in Vancouver, we met with after the AGM, we met with the team. And there's lots of history that it's out there, the Métis history, and it's out there, and it's not known. It could be in the archive, but 90% of the people haven't heard it. And we're hoping, we wrote something, some ideas down, and we're going to pass it on to the board. But there's so much information out there that people haven't heard. I mean, I was used to the sash, dance, and the fiddle. But there's thousands of other things that life, the way that Métis live, what they trap. Another thing too, my grandpa used to make a violin, fiddle. When I started playing the fiddle, he said, no, I used to make them, but he said, I only made them at night. I said, why so? He says, coal oil lamp. He said that would guide me what to carve. The light of the lamp would guide me how thick the back was going to be, and that's how he carved his violin in the evening. I didn't know that. Métis made fiddle. There's so much information out there that we decided that we're going to try and see if we could capture some of them, do some research, and to me, there's a lot more work to be done here, and hopefully, next year we should be able to capture some of it.
That's great. Yeah, we do need to capture it. I know we're proceeding. One of the other items we updated at the annual general meeting was Project Coming Home. But all of that work has to be grounded in strong cultural values. And how many, we've talked about this before online, Renee, but we know there's not a lot of Michif speakers left, and not a lot of elders, Métis elders, that actually have embraced their culture and are sort of not only elders, but actually knowledge and cultural keepers. I consider you one of those people. When you think really about it and you think about the network of people we have out there, how many people in BC would you estimate are what we would call sort of elders, but really who know their culture and language? Like, there's very few that are, unfortunately, we're losing people quite fast these days, it seems like.
There's not that many left. Another thing too, we're planning our next year is to visit our community, and what better way when we meet our community to ask about their stories, and to get more information so we could pass that information. And I think that's a great idea to be able to, when we do meet, to get as much information as I can from our elders.
Yeah. Okay, I want to quickly switch gears. Like, we know now it's October 19th, November 16th. We're not that far away from. Why is that date important for everyone online tonight?
Right now, it's very important because it's Louis Riel, and this year we're hoping. I met with our president in Terrace, and we're going to celebrate Louis Riel like we haven't celebrated before. We're going to have, hopefully, we'll have our president attend if he's in town, and yeah. And we'll have lunch, and we'll have stories. We'll have his life. Well, he was the founder of Manitoba, and we want to let the people know how the life of Louis Riel. So hopefully, we got to collect the information. We have lots already, but I'm sure there's lots more.
Yeah. November 16th, Louis Riel Day this year. I hope people have got that in their calendars. We at the Federation are going to be providing some supports to our partner communities across the country, or across British Columbia. And what we're asking our partner communities to do this year on November 16th is commemorate his life in some meaningful way, right? That's a Wednesday this year on November 16th. I just had to quickly look on the calendar. I couldn't remember if it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's a Wednesday this year. But we really want the communities to hold an event to, provide an education opportunity for their members, or invite the general public, have some sort of education session. I think back to some of our other elders like George and Terry Goulet, who've done tremendous work for the Métis people on telling the story of Louis Riel. And, we just keep sharing that information. I still believe Louis Riel needs to be exonerated. That's a personal belief of mine. I hope one day that he is. I know that there's some in our community, for some reason, that debate whether he should be exonerated or not. I don't understand that, because he was unjustly hanged in obviously 1885. But, it is what it is. And we just work our way through it. But on November 16th, let's just all make sure we remember the life of Louis Riel. I mean, that's what's critical. Your life, Renee, you've been around a lot of years. Has Louis Riel Day changed in your opinion over the years, or what's your take on how society views Louis Riel Day?
To me, I think it's lately it's more than before. At one time, years ago, we talked about it, but today I think we need to celebrate his life. He was a Métis figure. He gave his life for more, and he was the founder of Manitoba. So, and to me, I think he needs to be celebrated.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I agree, and I couldn't agree more. So I just wanted to also, I'm going to just, I don't know, I'm gonna have to just get profiled here for a second if I can. I'm not sure, Craig, if we're online tonight, if you can put me as the profile, but I just want to let people know, I'm really, I want to thank Bev Lambert. She was at our annual general meeting. She shared this nice, beautiful card. Our friend Rodney Lambert passed away this last year, and Bev came to our AGM and thanked the BC Métis Federation because he was a community leader for us in Dawson Creek, and he's a very cultural elder, someone who taught a lot of us more about our culture than they knew before. But what I really wanted to share with everyone is what really touched me was, the Federation, we did what we could to help the family, and I really appreciate that the family honored the BC Métis Federation and acknowledging the support we gave for Rodney in his time on this earth and his time working with our organization. I just thought it was a tremendous tribute to the BC Métis Federation for our way of supporting Rodney. And as we do many members when we lose elders and people in our community, we can't always do everything we'd like to do, but we always try and support if we can. And Rodney was a big part of our organization for a lot of years. And I just want to say it was just a real honor. And thanks, Bev, for bringing that. Rodney was a tremendous friend to me personally. And I'm just glad that you shared some words with our members at the annual general meeting about, the tribute you did for Rodney. So I thought that was really, really kind and really nice. And I just wanted to thank you for that. JJ, we lost you for a few minutes.
Yeah, no, my computer thing here shut down and I had to restart everything, and it's good.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I heard something crash there earlier. I thought maybe there was a kitchen party getting out of hand over there or
Then
something.
was sneaking in trying to get dishes done. And
Yeah, that'll teach her.
I know it.
Well, look, JJ, why don't you give us a fiddle tune? Renee gave us one while you were away. It's your turn. You gotta give us a good fiddle tune.
Well, I got this one all programmed in here, and let's try this one. You might have heard this one. This is a new one. It's called the BCMF Reel.
Now we're talking.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hang on.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's got to be a new one. I never heard that.
That's brand new.
Good.
He
Nice.
played it.
That was one of the last things I did before
Hey,
before my departing.
and he played it for us in the September Métis Coffee Talk. He debuted it right at the end of the show there. And it's really catchy, really cool. We got to make sure we get a few fiddlers here in BC learning that song.
Yeah.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I think
I'll send
great.
it to you, Rennie. You can learn it.
Perfect. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, don't send it to me because I won't even know what those notes look like. I won't have a clue. It'll be what does that mean? Yeah. But anyways, no, I really thank you, JJ. That's an awesome song. I do want to say one more tribute tonight, but I'll come back with some final questions with you guys. At the AGM, I brought it to everyone's attention that Joe Desjardins, one of our team members, our director of research, his father was quite ill and he was in hospice, and it was just a matter of time. And shortly after the annual general meeting, he did pass away. And I just want to say to the Desjardins family, we certainly our deepest condolences. Joe's dad, Joseph Henry Desjardins, a really nice elder, and just a very proud man and very supportive of Joe and the family. And I know all the family has been very deeply impacted. I think like many of us, we know when we lose our elders and our family that, we know it's inevitable at some point, but it still doesn't make it any easier. And so I just want to say to Joe and the family, if they're watching tonight, we just, you have our prayers and our support. And, we offer you all our deepest condolences. And I want to let everyone know on behalf of our board and our staff and our members, we sent out flowers and a card to the family. So, we do what we can. There is a funeral on Friday, October 28th. It'll be in Abbotsford at 1450 McCallum Road. So you may want to attend and show the family support if you have the time. And if not, they understand. It's everyone knows we have a busy life in many ways. So, but Joe, to you and your family, again, our condolences. And we just hope you guys are doing well in this time of transition and change. And that's what these times represent. So anyways, hopefully they're doing okay. And I did talk to Joe, and I want to reassure everyone they're doing as good as you can in a situation like that. So we're almost coming to the end of the show, you guys. I was talking, JJ, I was just talking with Renee before we got you back doing the new BCMF reel. Next month, Louis Riel Day. What's your take on how society looks at Louis Riel Day? I'm quite interested to hear what you would say about that.
Oh boy. Well,
nothing like an easy question.
No, it's not. It's not an easy question, but I'm not sure what society thinks about it. I can tell you what I think about it. I think it's important that Louis Riel is recognized. I think not enough people, not enough Canadians, let alone even some Métis, really know the significance of Louis Riel. They say he was a Métis leader. Not too many people know he was the founder of Manitoba. Not too many people know he was, he was very religious in his beliefs. He was a poet. He was an artist. He was very well educated. He was passionate about family. He was passionate about the politics. He was passionate about Canada. So I think that the fact that they're honoring him is a good thing. But what I would like to see, though, is that they get it out of the history books. Sorry, I thought I had that silenced. I wish that they would get it out of the history books and get it out that he's a traitor to Canada and stuff like that, because I still hear that. It comes up in conversation sometimes with people that don't know about Louis Riel, and they say, oh, Louis Riel, wasn't he that guy that was hung for treason? Yes, he was. But I just think that I don't like that part of it. I think that should be taken out of the history books. It's my opinion. If it's exoneration, then maybe it's exoneration. But I think we should celebrate Louis Riel for the good things he did and what he tried to do for Canada, what he tried to do for the Métis. And he said, my people will sleep for 100 years. And it will be the artists that bring back their spirit. And I've seen that. I haven't been around 100 years, but I've seen the spirit of the Métis come back through the music, through the jigging, through the arts. And there was a time where my grandparents and my parents said you couldn't dance, you couldn't jig, you couldn't celebrate your culture. And now we're celebrating it. And that's thanks to Louis Riel. So if he's up there watching, thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think my own, you've heard me, JJ, talk about this before in the past, but I believe that until we get him exonerated, Canadians will unfortunately think he was a traitor. Exoneration is more of it's an important legal tool to make sure that he's not continued to be perceived in the public conversation or public records as a criminal, because he was not a criminal. I don't believe he was a criminal. So I will always maintain as one Métis voice out there representing this organization that we should exonerate him. It's not about us. It's about his true history and what he did for this country. And like you, I hear that too. And I hear a lot of people think that somehow it was just some sort of treasonous fight, and they don't realize it was about entering into Canada, not and making sure that our people were cared for and protected with their land and with their way of life, and no different than what we're doing today. And we're not traitors. I mean, it's just back then that the government didn't solve it with negotiations, they solved it with military, right? So I think we have a long ways to go, but on November 16th, I hope that people use that as an opportunity. If they support reconciliation, that also includes Métis. So on November 16th, look around your local areas, or you can go to the BC Métis Federation website. We will certainly post where there's some events and anything scheduled with our partner communities. Like Renee said, up in Terrace, they're going to have a substantial Louis Riel event, and I look forward to attending that. I will be there on November 16th, supporting that event. And we are going to give each of our other partner communities some resources, and hopefully we'll work with them to get something in place. And each of the Prince George, of course, Clearwater, Prince George, Vancouver, Victoria, and Vancouver Island. We'll do in Surrey. I'm missing one, of course. Now I'm missing quite a few, actually. I shouldn't have started rambling things off because now I can't remember. Fort St. John, Fort Nelson, possibly in Kelowna or Kamloops, and then of course, Métis Association of Central Okanagan in the Kelowna area that I mentioned a second ago. So we'll continue to do that, and we'll post those events, and hopefully we can get people to really get out and just come learn a little bit more about the Métis people and one of our historic leaders. Okay, we're almost coming to the end of the show. We've had lots of good dialogue. We want one more tune from each of you guys, and then I'll sign us off. So, Renee, I think we should have our elders go first, and then we'll finish up with another fiddle tune from our friend JJ. So what are you going to play for us, Renee?
I'm going to play the most request tune I get is Cajun Fiddle.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love that song, Renee. Great.
Yeah.
Cajun Fiddle and Orange Blossom Special, two personally my favorites always, because they're like super energetic. Yeah. All right. Okay, JJ, what's your final finale of fiddle tune here?
Oh, this is another one I used to play, and I haven't played it in a while, so I'm trying to brush up again. This one's called Turkey in the Straw, and
okay.
I know I love the names of these tunes, and I apologize ahead of time if it's rough. Here we go.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right on. Good style. Right on.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, JJ. You said you're going to be rough. I'd hate to see it if it was
No.
perfect.
I was. There's a few notes in there that we're missing, but that's okay.
No, that's okay. No, that was great.
Well, you guys, thank you for the show tonight. I think you both, I thank you both for your sharing your Métis cultural, obviously, talents, and just answering a few questions and sharing some insights of your personal thoughts. I mean, obviously, Renee is our vice president. A lot of people always want to hear your thoughts and ideas, and you are an elder, so sometimes you've been there, done that a lot more than some of us younger people. And although we think no one's thought about it before, chances are you've seen it a million times before. So we appreciate your guidance and patience. And JJ, yeah, always full of a lot of energy and just love watching you do your thing. Such a proud Métis cultural performer. Any final words? I'll start, Renee. Any final words you want to leave with the audience tonight?
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to play with JJ, and I hope he comes back again and visit. And I'm looking forward to have a board meeting.
We just got done an AGM, but we'll have it soon. I know, because it's nice to get together in person, obviously.
That's right. Definitely. Yeah.
Great, Renee. Well, thanks for your work tonight. JJ, any final comments for everyone online tonight?
Well, wonderful show. It's always fun. I really enjoy doing these coffee talks, and that's why I agreed to keep going with them. It's a lot of fun. It gives me something to get out and informative, and it's always fun. We never know what's going to happen. But this will be my last one here from BC. The next coffee talk I do will be out in Saskatoon. So
right on.
Yeah.
So make sure, JJ, I've got witnesses here online today. Make sure there is a time zone difference. So you'll have to adjust. So.
That's right. Okay, yeah. But the next time
you're 7.
I'll be like Craig's picture. I'll be in the snow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you'll be joining us an hour or 2 hours ahead. I guess at certain time in the winter time, you'll be 2 hours ahead.
So what would it be then? If we start at 7 here, what time is it there? 9?
Well, it'll be 9 o'clock there. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Careful what you agree to. Hey.
That's all good. I'm usually up at night anyway.
Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you guys on behalf of Renee and JJ and myself. Just a pleasure to always at least do the show once a month, give you guys a bit of culture, a bit of insights in some of the work we're doing. We've had another really successful month and a great annual general meeting. I want to thank all the members that came out. I do also want to acknowledge how some of our elders have passed recently. I just want to again say, our best to the Desjardins family, of course, with the loss of Joe with your father and so forth. But you have family here, and that's so important. It's at a time when we all got to support each other. But I hope you've enjoyed the show for this, I guess, Wednesday, in this different time, Wednesday, October 19th. It's been a pleasure being with you here this evening, and we will see you all next month on Métis Coffee Talk in November, shortly after L'Oreal Day. So everyone, have a great night, and we will talk to you in a month.
Good night.
Good night.